So we are recording. Hi all. Welcome to the CDF TOC meeting. Today is April 26th, and let's check our agenda. Well, as I said before we started the recording, our agenda is actually empty, but let's see what we can add there. So topics from yesterday. So we have TOC elections, we have CDCon awards. We also had a discussion of environments and the new meeting slot. So if you don't mind, I would like to start from the new meeting slot and sync up because there was some confusion. And also, if you have any other topics, let's get them added to the agenda. Do we have anything from others? Okay, then probably news. Okay, so for the new meeting slot, we ran Doodle. I pinged multiple times asking for additional votes, but generally we don't have serious consensus and we don't have a slot where everyone would be available. So thanks everyone who responded to the poll. So the best times we have on the table is Tuesdays, either 4 p.m. UTC or 6 p.m. UTC. So 4 p.m. UTC is the current official slot, which was 1 hour before. And if we take this slot, so basically the previous one, if we have no consensus, it means that Andrea and Fatih cannot participate, which is obviously not great. But if we take one of these slots, Melissa could participate or Derek could participate, which is good. And the question to you is, what do we do about it? Because if we want to have the entire board, or at least most of the board, to have a quorum, we definitely need to think about our options here. So, any opinions? So I believe from the participants, everyone voted. And
I guess I have not voted yet. If you want my vote there as well, I have not.
Oh, so if you could do a tiebreaker, it would be awesome.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
For myself, I think I can try to move something around. So certainly don't schedule around me if there's more of a consensus with more folks.
Yeah, so basically what I would like to do is just extend the voting a bit. Again, try pinging everyone to see whether we could get more feedback. For example, Steve, I don't know when he would be available. And he has been active participant in the TOC. So
Fatih has added some notes to the chat. His microphone is not working, but there'll be 2 new TOC members, and so we should probably take them into account as well. And he said, you can ignore my vote. I will try to join based on the outcome of the vote from others.
We are not going to ignore votes of any active participants, whether you are a TOC member or contributors. So basically, these meetings are open for anyone. So whomever has binding vote or not doesn't matter too much, right? Okay. So
sorry, it seems I cannot add a vote since the meeting occurs in the past 12th of April.
This is a good question.
Only me, or
it's maybe because I concluded the vote. Just a second.
Okay.
I see whether I can reopen it. Okay, if you cannot vote, just drop it into the chat and I will get it counted.
I'm trying to see what it corresponds to in GMT terms. So if you bring up the page again when you saw those, I can just compare with what I see, because I see them in Swedish time.
Okay. So, okay. So basically, I will either reopen Doodle or just comment in a TOC Slack, and yeah, let's keep looking for a slot. Yeah, and anyway, in 2 months we will also have changes in the TOC team, so maybe there is another adjustment, or maybe we will just claim a summer break for July and August because, well, everyone will be off anyway. So let's see. Okay. So regarding news, so first of all, don't forget about KubeCon. It's just in 2 weeks. And yeah, we will have CD events day there. Also, tomorrow we will have announcement, webinar for CD events. Thanks a lot to Emil and everyone for hosting it, so that we will have some participation. And actually, yeah, as I said, I will join at least for the first half and try to facilitate through social media and whatever. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, it's great that we move with the project. And maybe one question to the team is, do we have a timeline for CD events announcements?
Do you mean for the project itself, or?
Yes. So basically, this marketing plan that was shared with Events Seek, because my understanding that we are doing CD events a day at KubeCon. So for me, the question is whether we announce CD events before KubeCon, during KubeCon, or after KubeCon. All options seem to be feasible, but it would be nice to understand where we stand, especially with the CDF team. So, Kara, do we have?
We can in any way. Been, or there may be now, a little bit of a miscommunication. I had asked Chris a couple months ago, and he had said, let's use CD Events Con to build up enthusiasm, more contributors to the project, and then have more of a big push around CDCon. However, now there might be a difference of opinion. So I think I need to clarify that with him. And I had been kind of thinking about that timeline, to be fair, and I think I shared that informally with you, Oleg. But if that is more fluid, and if Chris is happy switching that, then I'm happy switching that too. And we can do that. The press release is almost done. I might actually share it with maybe Andrea and Oleg and whoever else wants to see it, because I feel like it could be refined a little bit further, but to the extent to which our copywriter for that has worked on it, I think his work is pretty much complete. And then we're pretty much ready to push forward with it. And he can certainly help with contacting different media outlets and things like that. And at that time, it would be really great to work with sort of, I guess, the marketing departments of various companies like Captain or who else would like to be involved. Yeah. So that gives you more information, but maybe not that much more clarification in terms of timeline, because I do want to double check it with Chris. He said something else differently, sort of emphasizing it either way. So I guess,
Hello?
do you all have, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can folks hear me?
Yes. We hear you,
Okay, sorry,
Andrea.
my internet was dropping
Oh,
before.
okay. Yeah,
So you
maybe
can,
it's telling me I have unstable network connection. I'm not sure.
but please
Yeah,
give
I
your
think
input
both
now.
options sounds good to me. Maybe the CDCon gives us a bit more time to work on the spec and get it farther before we do the announcement. But I mean, at KubeCon we will have CD Events Con, so in a way, I mean, we will talk about the project for sure. But for the official launch, we could coordinate it with either with that or with CDCon.
I just want to add as well, for the PR document that we are working on, there are some quotes that we would like to get in, which are not there yet.
Yeah.
For example, one from Andrea from on IBM. and from some other people. So, but of course, we shouldn't wait.
So
definitely
we send last call for quotes. We basically prepare everything, and then we make final decision when we announce it.
I've tried to reach someone from Fidelity to get a quote. I don't know. I tried to reach Jamie Plower, Fatih. I don't know if there's someone else that could provide a quote from Fidelity. Otherwise, we might not get one.
And from what I see, we still don't have a quote from the CDF. Do we?
You provided one for the CDF TOC, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can paste that.
So if it counts, then we can keep it. But if Kara or whomever want to provide one, I think it's also totally legit.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do one from the CDF. Why we're excited about the project.
So yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, so I won't be sharing the link to CD Events Marketing Plan because this link is public editing. So if I put it on meeting notes, yeah, it may be risky. But if you want to share any information, the link is in the chat, or you can just reach out to us if you watch the recording. Okay, so another logistics thing. So you may have met Nathan, who was helping with some project management things. For example, with project onboarding, we worked with Steven and him. So he currently switches to other project in the Linux Foundation. So they will be. So we did the handover. And right now, if you need any assistance, basically we can just contact CDF, maybe ask Kara, ask Michelle, who also helps with program management, and we can see how we handle that. And, well, I guess more news will be coming soon, but yeah, for now, this is what we have. Yeah, and speaking for that project onboarding, we got some clarification from legal. So the next step is to actually document it and close this item for us. Okay. So next item in our agenda, TOC elections. So basically, I dropped the ball on that. Last meeting, we agreed what would be the election scenario. I took an action item to propose it to the governing board. I wanted to discuss it at the next meeting, and the next meeting, I believe, just next week or so. Anyway, I will post it to the mailing list as we initially agreed, so we can vote on that asynchronously in the mailing list. So this action item is still on me, but yeah, I think that we have a consensus, and we still have some time to confirm everything. Yeah. And the last item we have on the agenda is CDCon and user awards. I guess the call for nominations and votes is closed, right?
I believe so. Is there an additional nomination?
I think so.
Okay. So basically everyone should receive ballots to their inboxes, and there will be quite a lot of ballots this time, right? I mean, for all ambassadors, for end users, and whomever else gets selected. Do you know where we stand, Kara, with that? I mean, with all the elections. I know that Michelle drives it, but I'm not sure whether all polls have been already published.
No, I don't believe they have. And actually, from what I heard from Michelle, is that maybe not as much response has occurred as she would have wished. So if you send it to respond, please do so.
Well, anyway, we have quite a lot of time until CDCon happens, so whatever works best. Okay, so, and basically that's it, what we had for today from our backlog. So one item which is still on the table is, of course, infrastructure and environments. So we agreed to follow up asynchronously on that. And yeah, I guess another item we have briefly discussed is virtual tickets for KubeCon Europe. So whether we distribute them and how we distribute them. So is there any action item needed for that?
Yes, so we do have some tickets to distribute, and actually what I would prefer to do, either I'm perfectly happy to hand it over to the TOC, but I had thought to tell the projects they had a certain amount of tickets and distribute them and see how that process went. Because I think the projects would know, say, what students were really involved with them, maybe GSOC students, you know, who was really involved that could actually really use a virtual ticket and really benefit from it. But if you have other suggestions of how you would like that managed, please let me know.
This approach definitely works for me. So I guess our main question is how we ensure that these tickets get used by the CDF community, because the worst thing we can have is that these tickets are unused. So,
yes, and I totally agree with that. It's very easy for me to have contact with certain of our projects, like the Jenkins projects or others that are that I have more contact with, that it's very easy for me to distribute to them. There are some projects where it's harder for me to do so, where I have less contact. And actually, what do you recommend in that case? I can see on the back end who has how many tickets we have left, how many have been used. So it's really easy after we give each project a certain amount to start to see who's using them and then redistribute as needed. I'm sure the Jenkins project has probably a pretty strong demand, being a large project. But yeah, give me your advice on how to ensure all projects are notified of this.
So Michelle has recently collected contacts of project leaders. I'm not sure whether you have seen this spreadsheet.
Yeah, no, I'm on that email. I don't know if it's 100% complete.
I'm checking right now. No, well, especially for projects. So actually, there is just Jenkins listed there. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, yeah, I'm not sure whether I can share access with the TOC, but definitely I would appreciate if someone could provide contacts for Tecton, Shipwright, Screwdriver, Artelius, and other projects. There is one assumption which concerns me, that this spreadsheet that Michelle requested. So basically, they assume that there is a single leader in a project, which, to the best of my knowledge, doesn't apply to any of the Continuous Delivery Foundation projects. And probably this is a good thing. But yeah, maybe it's something we need to adjust to. So contact emails of us contacts would be rather, let's say, governing board emails. And I guess not all projects have governing board established. Not all projects have any mailing list to be used. So, for example, I don't know whether Jenkins X has any mailing list, just Slack, I guess.
We used to have a lot of mailing lists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then my assumption was wrong. So yeah, definitely something that needs to be sorted. But yeah, I also don't know how to contact particular communities. And yeah, one of the questions for me is Spinnaker. So going back to the discussion we had last time, is actually reestablishing the contacts. And today there was a question whether Spinnaker is dying or not on the CDF Slack. So maybe it's something to actually to follow up, because we know that Spinnaker is not dying. There is some community, there is some work, there are open source contributions, there is engagement. There will be Spinnaker conference soon. But yeah, having all of that in place would be really beneficial for the community. And I guess it's an action item on us, Kara, because we agreed last time that we would follow up with Spinnaker, but we haven't done it yet.
Can I ask, how are we, or like, have you moved forward the discussions, or have we, as the TOC, moved forward the discussions on adding additional project seats to the TOC?
Additional projects to the CDF? Or?
TOC project seats to this, because we had talked about maybe sort of allocating one to Spinnaker and then in order to keep the number odd.
No, we haven't. So it's basically a part of our action item to contact Spinnaker. So there are two steps. Firstly, having a TOC contributor, and then let's see, because if we have a TOC contributor, so I was working with a few people from Spinnaker community trying to fill this gap, because once we have active contributors, it's easy to find a TOC member. It's just a change of the title.
Okay, from the CDS perspective as well, if we add more seats, there's like a change to the charter that needs to be made, and that needs to be approved by the governing board. So all these things. So from your point of view, the number one first step in this process is first have Spinnaker representatives attend the TOC.
Yeah, right. Okay. Because, well, they don't participate in governing / technical steering / CX.
Yeah.
It's really hard to talk about being on the TOC board, because again, we already had it in the past when we have had people who were not particularly active. It happens from time to time, but yeah, I guess it's our responsibility as TOC to facilitate this participation. Especially from major projects like Spinnaker, which is still important in the ecosystem.
Yes. So outstanding action item, I will loop you into an email with individuals I know from the Spinnaker community who can help find who this individual could be or may be interested in doing. So I'll do that. I'll do that after this call. So, and by you in that sentence, I meant you, Oleg.
So yeah, basically that's it. Any other topics we need to discuss today? Or otherwise we just give 30 minutes back to everyone? Okay. So virtual tickets, yeah, we'll follow up maybe with Garima or maybe with somebody just to get this topic running. Well, I'm not sure whether it's a subject for TOC, to be honest, but yeah, it's just we need to call the right people. Okay. And that's it for today. Yes. Who's going to KubeCon after all? Yeah. For me, just first 2 days. Okay. So I hope to meet you at the CD Wednesday then. And thanks everyone who participates. And yeah, remember in June we have CDCon. So hopefully we will have more people there. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks all.
Okay. Thanks. I'll
Thank you.
stop.
Bye.
Bye.